Spartan warriors could run 50 miles, fight hand to hand, and do it all over again the next day. They built bodies that outlasted entire armies, without a barbell, without a gym, without ever touching a heavy weight in their life. Yet today, we're told that if you're not loading more plates every week, you're wasting your time. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Heavy lifting may actually be slowing your progress down. This is going to sound completely wrong. Everything you've been told about building strength and about how the weight on the bar is what drives results is backwards. And the research has known it for over a decade. Most people just haven't heard it yet. Here's the flaw in the system. We've confused the signal for the mechanism. Heavy weight creates tension, and tension is what stimulates muscle growth. Fine, but tension is not exclusive to heavy weight. A 2012 study from McMaster University found that subjects training with light loads to muscular failure gained the same size and strength as those lifting heavy. Same results. Less joint stress, less injury risk, more reps, more control. The principle that actually matters isn't load, it's mechanical tension, and you can generate it at almost any weight. What you actually need: proximity to failure, time under tension, and intentional motor unit recruitment. Hard doesn't mean effective. The movement is the mechanism. I'm going to walk you through exactly what to do instead, broken into 5 key methods, and one of them outperforms traditional heavy lifting in 3 separate peer-reviewed studies. I'll get to that one near the end, because when you understand why the others work first, it'll hit completely differently. Let's get into it. Most people lower the weight fast to lift it heavy again. The descent is wasted movement. Why it's wrong. The eccentric, the lowering phase, produces more force through the muscle than the lift itself. You're throwing away the most productive half of every rep. Better alternative: slow eccentrics. Take 3 to 5 seconds to lower the weight on every rep. Why it works? Longer eccentric duration increases time under tension, causes greater micro damage, and elevates the metabolic stress response, the 3 primary drivers of hypertrophy. How to do it? Pick 40 to 60% of your normal working weight, lift in 1 second, lower in 4, no momentum, full range, progression. Add 1 second to your eccentric every 2 weeks. When you reach 6 seconds, increase load by 5 to 10%. Here's where it gets interesting. Method 2, blood flow restriction, BFR. What people do. They assume building muscle requires moving significant load. Light weights feel like a warm-up. They skip right to the heavy sets. Why it's wrong: blood flow restriction training uses 20 to 30% of your 1 rep max, with a wrap or cuff applied to the limb to trap blood in the working muscle. The result is metabolite accumulation, cellular swelling, and a massive hormonal response. Better alternative BFR training on compound or isolation movements. Why it works: studies show BFR produces hypertrophy comparable to heavy training, with dramatically less mechanical load on joints. It's used in post-surgical rehab for this reason, but it's also elite performance science. How to do it: apply a wrap at 7/10 tightness to upper arms or upper thighs. Perform sets of 30, 15, 15, 15 reps with 30-second rest intervals. Progression: increase rep count before increasing load. When you hit 30 reps on all 4 sets, add 5% weight. What people do: standard drop sets, reduce the weight, keep going. It works, but it's incomplete. Why it's wrong: weight-based drops still reduce tension when the muscle is weakest, at its shortest position. You're making it easier at the wrong time. Better alternative: mechanical drop sets. Instead of changing weight, change the leverage. Move to a mechanically easier position that shifts load to the stretched range. Why it works: new research on stretch-mediated hypertrophy shows that training the muscle in a lengthened position drives superior growth, particularly in deep fibers. Mechanical drops let you keep going by accessing a different portion of the strength curve. How to do it. Example: incline curl to flat curl to preacher curl. Same weight, same session. No rest. 3 positions, 3 angles, 1 set. Progression: add a 4th position, then increase starting load when all positions hit target rep count, and this changes everything. Method 4, Tontin Tio. Intentional failure training. What people do: stop short of failure, leave 3 to 4 reps in the tank, convinced this is smart training. Why it's wrong: the last 3 to 5 reps before failure are where high threshold motor units, the ones responsible for size and strength gains, actually get recruited. Stop early and you never touch them. Better alternative: train to technical failure on final sets. Not sloppy failure, technical failure. The last rep where form can still be maintained. Why it works: motor unit recruitment is demand driven. The CNS will not recruit fast twitch fibers unless it has to. Failure forces the hand. How to do it: on your last set of each exercise, push until form breaks. Note the rep count, rest 2 minutes, that's your baseline. Progression: add 1 rep to your failure set each week. When you reach your target rep ceiling, increase load by 5%. If you're finding value in this, hit subscribe. I put out 1 video a week. No filler, no fluff. Just the stuff that actually changes how you train. Now, the one method I promised you earlier. Method 5, high rep stretch loading star outperforms heavy lifting. What people do: heavy, low rep training in a shortened range. Partial reps, quarter squats, half curls. Why it's wrong: the muscle's growth stimulus is not uniform across its length. Research from 2023, 3 separate studies, found that loading the muscle in its stretched position drives disproportionately greater hypertrophy than loading in the shortened position. Better alternative: high rep stretch loading. Full range of motion, paused at the stretch, controlled return. Why it works: stretch activates titin, the spring-like protein within the sarcomere. creating passive force that multiplies mechanical tension without requiring heavy load. It also preferentially targets the long head of biarticular muscles, the portion most responsible for visual mass. How to do it? Romanian deadlifts, 3 to 4 second descent, pause at full hip hinge, drive through the hamstring, 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps. Weight is secondary, the stretch is primary. Progression: extend the pause by 1 second every 2 weeks. Increase load only when you can hold form through the entire eccentric and pause. Final summary: recap plus action plan plus close. System recap: you don't need heavier weight, you need smarter tension. 5 methods, all backed by research. All producing results that heavy lifting can't guarantee: slow eccentrics, BFR training, mechanical drop sets, intentional failure, stretch loading. Action plan. This week, drop 30% of your working weight on your primary lift. Add a 4-second eccentric. Go to technical failure on your last set. That's it. 1 session. You'll feel the difference immediately. Motivational close. The athletes who last, the ones who are still training at 50, still building at 60, they figured this out early. Effort beats ego. Tension beats tonnage. The bar doesn't have to be heavy. It just has to be working. Now go train smart.